The fortress stood tall against the dramatic sky. We came for glory, prepared for the battle of our lives. We scaled the walls, every muscle strained, every breath a prayer to the gods of war. The heavy gates splintered and broke, yet only a haunting silence met our steel. We charged into the heart of the keep, our hearts pounding in anticipation of the clash. But the halls were hollow. The air felt heavy, still, and suffocating. An untouched feast sat abandoned under layers of drifting dust, bathed in a ghostly light. Not a soul remained. The deafening silence was more terrifying than any war we had ever fought. Joker, I think we've been tricked. We need to be careful, Arthus. This doesn't smell right to me.
In this KVK, us in K332 will be facing K380. Looks like we're pretty evenly matched kingdoms. Hope we all have a fun event on both sides. KVK usually starts out a bit slow like this because of the Alliance's different time zones. It's always more fun when there's actual fighting, but if not, it's a great opportunity to rack up points by taking the great cities. Since things were pretty dead and it was getting late, around midnight, we decided to call it a night and save the war for tomorrow.
The silence of the castle hall is broken by a terrifying metallic clatter. The heroes realize the trap has finally been sprung. One by one, the torches flicker out. From the choking shadows of the balconies, the Shadow Army emerges like ghosts. Spears hit the stone floor in terrifying unison. Surrounded, the Allies pull together, forming a tight defensive circle to face the onslaught. The ranks part as a towering figure steps into the light. The enemy leader has arrived, clad in spiked black armor. He plants his massive two-handed sword into the ground, a silent declaration of power that dwarfs everyone in the room. Outnumbered and outmatched, the warriors exchange a final, grim look. The odds are impossible, but they will not fall without a fight. The leader raises his hand, and with a muffled roar, the darkness descends. The real battle for the castle begins now.
Sometimes we drop the ball when things seem a bit too easy. This time our mate Kid Bengala forgot to pop a shield on his castle and went to sleep after having a few drinks.
Agora você vai dormir de verdade, seu cachaceiro.
But we shouldn't dwell on the dead. The war is barely halfway through. Zveroboy, a cavalry player from the enemy kingdom, decided to capture King's Landing to score some points, or maybe draw us into a fight. However, our strongest spearman, King Joka, was surgically precise, landing a decisive strike and wiping out a huge portion of his troops. At this point in the game, we didn't have many options. The enemy kingdom's strongest player was controlling the structure that grants the most points, and we had no one on his level to take him head-on. So it was time to play smart. We came up with a plan that could be a huge success, but also had a high chance of failing. Step 1 was to distract the enemy by raiding Kingdom K380, pulling some attention away from our main target. Step 2 was sending fake attacks at J Kilo using a smaller account, so he wouldn't know if or when a real march was coming. Step 3 was launching 3 simultaneous attacks, one on J-Kilo, since his castle was missing its Lord Commander, which gave us a fighting chance. While Dagger hit J-Kilo, Palladino and I struck Cupid at the exact same time, as he was another player whose castle was left undefended without its lord.
Retreating to the narrow corridors, Joker and his companions form an iron wall against the overwhelming Shadow army. In a hidden chamber, Lord Duardo maps out the final, risky gambit. Every second counts as they prepare their counterattack. Lured into the grand courtyard, the enemy leader walks right into the trap. The heroes stand their ground as bait. Arthas signals the strike. Fire and arrows rain from the balconies, shattering the enemy's dark formation. Joker and Palladino launch a coordinated assault, their blades finally cracking the leader's cursed armor. As the first light of dawn breaks, the royal banner rises. The battle is won and the triumph is absolute.
With a little over an hour and a half left in the War of the Kingdoms, we were trailing far behind the enemy kingdom. J-Kilo and his allies managed to land a lot of decisive hits, giving them a massive lead on points. That might have made them confident enough to put the game aside and go to sleep, but they didn't count on our sheer persistence and determination. So, we decided the best way to rack up points was to hold King's Landing with as many ancient troops as possible, for as long as we could. In the end, what seemed impossible was right on the verge of happening. And it did. We managed to turn the tables and were just one step away from winning the KVK. But to pull it off, we had to hold our lead for one more hour. We couldn't celebrate too early. At that point, with just 5 minutes left in the event, we already knew there was no way for them to turn it around. The victory was ours. It was easily one of the best War of the Kingdoms I've played in recent times. Even though we went up against an insanely strong player, we managed to adapt and pull off effective strategies so we could come out on top and win the whole thing. So a huge shout out to all the warriors from Kingdom 332 and Kingdom 380. Everyone played amazingly well, and I hope the upcoming KVKs are just as great as this one. See you next time, and good game.
Victory is ours! We won the battle!